Good afternoon, everyone. Oops, sorry about that. Wrong button. There I go. Okay. I've never done that in my life, and hopefully I never will again. But, you know, a great song can never be overplayed, as they say. But in the meantime, again, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. It's the week of Thanksgiving. It looks, you know, a little warm, not warm and moist out there. We like it that way. It's that time of year, kind of like at the holiday spirit. And we're always heating things up in here tonight. I have a magnificent guest. This gentleman here is known as the Undaunted Professor Harp. Full name, Hugh Holmes, given name. He's a blues harmonica player. He's a great singer. He's gonna totally entertain us tonight with some really awesome blues music that he created himself. He's got about 5 or 6 harmonicas, maybe even more than that, in his box there that he brought with him. And we're gonna talk to him a little bit, and then he's gonna play some for us. So, Undaunted Professor Harp, thanks for coming in.
Well, thank you.
Okay. Well, first of all, before we get started, how did you get into music? I asked this for all my guests. I take it you've been doing it for quite a few years.
Well, I started out as a drummer.
Okay. When? How old were you?
Well, I'm 66 now, but
okay.
I started out when I was about maybe 15, 3/4 going on 16.
Okay.
In the 70s, playing drums.
Right.
And
right here. You in a band?
I tried to get a band, but I always ran into frustration. Could never really find players.
Okay.
And
it's got to be tough doing it from the drummer's perspective. I mean, because, you know.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think I would have been probably Dean of Blues drummers had I kept on it, you know. But the way my path went,
yep.
I went into Boston, you know, at a place called the Boston Tea Party.
Okay.
And back in those days, you could go and hear a whole lot of blues.
Right.
And it was around the time of the blues revival. I was about 18 or 19, you know about 17 or 18.
Okay.
And one night I saw a hell of a blues show. It was Albert King was
wow,
headlining.
Cool.
And the supporting act was Big Mama Thornton, George Smith.
Right.
George Harmonica Smith, who was my biggest influence.
Cool.
And their band, you know, Rod Piazza was with them too.
Okay.
And I had never heard much of electric harmonica before. I thought it was just Dylan, you know, like that, Dylan breathing through it, something like that, like a first position, you know. But I had never heard the real blues guys. No Little Walter, no James Cotton until, you know, later.
Okay.
And I saw George, and after I heard that, it just like, well, like as the saying goes, tore me a new one. And I dropped the drums, just got into playing harmonica.
All right, now you just mentioned electric harmonica. Yeah. Is that what you just said?
Yes, sir.
Okay, by electric, are real harmonicas really powered by electricity? Or
well, basically you cup it into a mic like this.
Oh, okay.
You see?
Yep.
You take a mic.
Right.
A microphone, and you put it into an amplifier, which you can't really see back here.
He has one. He brought it with him.
You know,
yep.
But it amplifies the whole signal. Instead of sounding like, you see what I mean?
I hear what you mean.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's what the old guys did. They used old PAs, whatever they could get at the time. Old PAs, amplifiers, whatever they had. You know, the old guys just used what was there back during the post-World War II era.
Right.
And it's been like this ever since. You know, Little Walter and Sonny Boy Williamson, all those guys. You know, Snooky Pryor.
Cool.
All those guys. Snooky Pryor said he did it first when he was in the Army. You know, he just put it through a PA system, and you know.
Wow.
But that's how you do it to get your sound.
Right.
You know.
Cool.
Oh,
I see. Okay, interesting.
You know, so and once it's amplified, it's a whole new ball game.
Totally.
You know.
Yeah. You carry the room with you when you amplify.
Oh yeah,
no
fill
question.
up the room. You know. And most people say I'm one of the loudest harp players around anyway. But
well, why do you say harp if it's a harmonica? Is that
well, they call it the mouth harp, the French harp.
Oh, interesting.
You know, they call it the mouth organ.
Okay.
And which I'll show a little bit later on, you know, because a lot of my stock and trade is playing and approximating an organ.
Okay.
So, I like to do that too. So, before the show's over, you'll get some of that too.
All right. Now, well, since that time, I mean, you've played at a lot of places over the years. Are you in a band now currently?
Yes, I have a band.
Okay,
yeah,
what's
headline band? It goes under my name.
okay?
Undaunted Professor Harp,
Just like on
Professor
your
Harp.
briefcase.
You know,
Yeah.
you name it. You know,
Right,
that's what
okay.
it goes by. You know,
Cool.
And got a guitar player with me. Like we go back about almost 50 years.
Wow.
Cat named Tom Williams.
Okay.
And he was from Bridgewater too. Lived over here on Spring Hill.
Okay.
And now I would say he's like the closest thing to Steve Cropper that you'd have around these parts.
Right. Okay.
You know, and I got a rhythm section, a couple of guys now finally that been able to find a good rhythm section that knows how to play the music the way it should be played.
Right. Wow.
A guy named Al Clemens, another guy named Jim Casey. So, you know, trying to develop it now and, you know, get out there and try to really do it, you know.
Now, when it comes to writing your music, you write it's all original? Or
No. There's a lot of cover stuff, old R&B and blues and rock and roll.
Okay.
I need to start writing more, but
Okay.
you know.
So you've done.
But I have
you've
a
written
few
too, right?
Yeah, I've had 2 or 3 written songs I've
Okay.
written myself.
Well, I heard you warming up in here from the parking lot. It sounded great. I've also played something. You were at the Bull Run, and you said the town of Maynard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing too. And you're an absolutely great talent, and I can't wait to hear you play something. So what do you say? You know, we talked a little bit. Play a number. We'll talk about it and a little more after that, and then we'll maybe play another couple of songs. What do you think?
All right. Well,
And you're gonna sing too, right?
Well, a little bit.
Okay, cool.
I don't have a duo with me, so it's going to be kind of.
I do
rough
it, but I got a
to do
little
it.
cold. Did you mean? Yeah, all right.
You know, but I mean, I usually do that with a duo. But,
Okay.
You know, I might do something really primitive.
Sounds good. Without further ado.
So if I felt like doing something like a blue version of Duke Ellington's "Don't Get Around Much Anymore."
Okay.
All right. I
Here we
might
go.
do it something like this because I learned it from Big Walter Horton. And, you know, I got the influence there, and I still try to, you know, put my spin into it.
Sure.
You know, so you might hear something like this.
Oh, Duke Ellington, huh?
Oh, yeah.
That's incredible. Well, okay. Now, have you ever done anything at Berkeley?
No.
Really?
No, because Berkeley isn't a real traditional blues place like that.
Really? Okay. The
I mean,
reason
I've seen guys who play like Bruce Katz. He's got a professorship there.
You
and,
know Charles Fusinski?
no, I don't. But
You know Fuse? Okay.
I know Mike Williams and guys like Ralph Rose and those guys, but they play blues for years, so they know how to play it, you know. But a lot of them, it's a whole different situation there. They're playing, you know, million notes and all that, and you know, like the roots music that I play is very simple.
Okay. Right.
You know, it's not as complicated, but you know, it's very deceptive because people think everywhere you go, you know, people think anybody can play it, but nothing can be further than the truth.
Right. Oh, I can see that.
You know, people think, you know, people go to these blues jams, and they come out and they play, you know, 8 million notes and everything, and they think they're playing blues, but a lot of it's I would say the bulk of it's from the soul.
True. Well, let me ask you: did you go to school at all for music anywhere?
No, I didn't.
Totally self-taught.
Well, not self-taught. I've taken a few lessons from a couple of guys.
Okay.
In Beantown, you know.
Right.
You know, one guy doubles on sax, a cat named Jeff Wadsworth, and you know, I believe he played with Buck and Bird Taylor and a lot of guys, some of the soul guys in Boston, you know.
Okay.
I still stay in touch once in a while. I tell him, well, Jeff, I'm still trying to clean out my act, you know.
Okay.
But basically, when you play harmonica, you know, you're gonna find it's desire that makes you do it.
Of course.
Because, you know, a piano player can show people fingering on a keyboard. Okay?
Right.
Guitar player can show how you finger and get the chords.
Right.
But even if you X-ray a mouth, you're not going to see how the air flies or how he's holding the tongue very well.
That's true. So
it's a lot of ear and desire.
Right. Wow.
You know, that's where harmonica players, I believe, are a special breed.
They are.
You know, to play it right.
Yep.
And I don't say I know everything. I always say I'm at the tip of 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 the iceberg, you know, when it comes to blues and playing harmonica. But I just do my thing, do the best I can, you know, pick up from whoever I've learned from, and just try to do that, you know. I mean, try to develop my own style from it, you know, my own spin, you know.
Right.
And I like to play rock and roll, like, you know, and soul, because that's all, you know,
R&B
rooted,
too.
well, R&B because it's rooted in the blues. You know?
Right.
There's a reason why they call it R&B.
Exactly.
And I believe it's time to get the beat back in R&B, really.
Okay. Well, how about doing another song and putting the beat back in it?
All right. Well, say if I wanted to play, you know, a funky number.
There you go.
You know, like say, you know. I was taking a little thing from, I believe it was Cool in the Gang, you know, funky
Okay.
stuff, and playing a riff like that, like a lot of the horn riffs, a lot of the rhythm. You know,
Okay,
because
cool.
I mean, you know, you can't, you know, really separate the blues from R&B. That's the biggest mistake people have made.
Right, of course.
It can't be done, you know.
Although,
not right.
although speaking as a music, you know, fan myself,
Mm-hmm.
I find that R&B it seems a little more. The songs are more melodious.
Yeah, and they're more intricate too. Yeah,
Right.
more hooks and all that, which is cool. But you can get it in the root form. You know, right now it's very much like country music. It's been over polished, in my opinion.
Okay.
You know, you got to get back to the hay shaking of country music.
Right.
And
Okay.
you got to get back to the real sweating and grit of R&B.
Ever play in New Orleans?
No, I've never been to New Orleans.
Never been there. Where
I've
have you?
recorded in Texas.
Yep.
I've been in Chicago.
Okay.
I went to Chicago to visit Muddy Waters.
Oh,
you know,
wow.
Yeah, like that, because I always affectionately say that I lost my blues virginity with Muddy Waters.
Oh, wow.
Because before, I was always trying to get bands from around here.
Yep.
And I couldn't find it once I even played harmonica when I dropped the drums. Because I couldn't find people that really had a love or respect for the music. I mean, these kids will say they're playing blues, but all they would play is like what they heard from Led Zeppelin and everything, and they wouldn't go back further to the sources.
Right. Wow. That's certainly not blues.
I mean, some of it, I mean, it's blues based, you know, because a lot of the British rock is blues based. That's what they listen to.
Right.
But you got to go back further.
Okay.
And I'm not saying I know everything about, but you know, you have to go back further. And
Well, recorded with Muddy Waters. That's a pretty
so
big deal.
a friend of mine knew him,
Yep.
introduced me to him.
Cool.
And one Sunday afternoon, we went down to a matinee.
Okay.
He introduced me to him.
This
He
was
said,
in
"I'm gonna
Chicago, right?
No, not Chicago. Well, it was here in Boston.
Oh, it was,
'Cause Muddy
okay.
would always come to Boston a lot.
Okay.
But I went to visit him in Chicago once I got to know him and you know, do a lot of playing with him, you know, like that. You
Cool.
know? And my friend called, told me, and he didn't say anything. Next thing I'm enjoying the music. He's playing a set, and he's, "Hey, where's the harp?" Like, "You come up."
Wow. How you like that?
Ears start to burn.
How long ago was this?
Oh, I was about 25, so it was back in 70. I was 24. I was pushing 25.
Okay.
So that was in April of 75.
Oh, okay. All right. 42 years, 42 and a half years
Oh,
ago.
where the hell did the time go?
I know. Well, I was 15 and a half, so I remember it well.
Yeah. So what happened was, you know, every time he'd come around, he always let me play and everything, and I never went on the road with him. But you know, what you learn from masters like that is priceless.
Of course. You still see him today?
No, Muddy's dead
He
now.
died. Okay, I
You
wasn't
know.
sure.
But his family, you know, he puts on like his oldest son, Mud Morganfield,
Oh, okay.
because Muddy's real name was McKinley Morganfield. Mud Morganfield has a band out, and it's uncanny. It's like Muddy came back from the dead and said, "Now where was I?"
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's uncanny. He sounds like him. Maybe he doesn't play.
Kind of like Jacob Dylan. Sounds like his father.
Well,
Bob.
more or less. You
Yeah.
know, and, he come back sounding like him and everything. He just doesn't play slide guitar. He plays bass when he wants to, but it's uncanny. And he's got another son by the name of Big Bill.
Okay.
Big Bill sounds great. And now there's another son out there, Joe Morganfield,
Okay.
and he's got a thing, and he's sounding good. That's like a dynasty. I like to see that happen. But it's unbelievable, you know, because I listened to Mud Morganfield play with Kim Wilson of the
Okay.
Fab
Oh, yeah, Kim
Thunderbirds.
Wilson.
Well, Kim Wilson is the closest thing you're going to have to Little Walter, I think, harmonica-wise,
Okay. Wow.
regardless of race, creed, or color. He's the closest one that I've ever heard for, you know, to Little Walter.
Right. Wow.
You know, it's just uncanny the way he would create stuff like Little Walter.
Tell me about your band. How many in it?
A 4-piece.
4-piece?
Matter of fact, I got the idea because, you know, like, I always liked that Fabulous Thunderbird approach when they first came up here, because they only had 4 pieces.
Okay.
Because the hardest thing to do is get a big sound out of a small band like
Right.
that.
Well, when you got those amps, it helps.
Well, yeah, but I mean, still, one of the hardest things you can do, because everybody wants to have all these players on the stage and trying to get a big sound that way. And anybody can get a big sound like that.
Right.
But the hard part is to get a big sound with a smaller band.
So have you recorded, you record CDs and everything with your band?
Well, I've got one CD. I didn't do it with the band. I've had
Okay.
this out for about 4 years. I did it with a lot of the heavy Rhode Island guys.
Okay.
You know, at the
Right.
time.
Now, you told me before the show you're writing a book. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, it's the
It's
first
sort of a
draft.
semi-tell-all.
Yeah,
Okay.
tell some.
Okay.
It hasn't even been titled yet, but I'm working with some people
Okay.
to help me do that. You know, as like I said, I'm talking about my experiences in the blues scene in New England,
Okay, sure.
and some of my experiences coming up here in this town.
Right. Okay.
Because believe me, it was a lot of it.
Well,
Was
where did you
strange.
come from originally? You said
Boston.
Okay, you grew up in Boston. Before you moved to Bridgewater, you lived in Boston.
Right.
Okay. Well, did you?
And
How was life like
well,
there?
life was
as a
when
kid?
we left. It was good. It was a very diverse neighborhood.
Okay.
My folks owned the apartment building where we lived,
Right.
and a lot of BU students that would rent from them.
Okay.
But a lot of them politicians in Boston got highway fever, and they had to go and put the pike right through our backyard.
Oh, that's terrible.
So eminent domain came in and ripped off my folks.
That's terrible. Well, but, I always say everything happens for a reason. And you ended up down here.
Yeah, and the school system was bad at the time.
What in Boston?
Yeah, for blacks.
Wow.
It was still bad. So so he moved down here because they were at least more modern.
Right.
I mean, the racism was more covert down here.
Yeah.
But it was still here. But I go into some detail talking about that, what I experienced and everything.
Yeah. In the book, you mean?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm. But basically, like what I'm talking about, a lot of my experiences.
Sure, I understand. Okay. Well, that's
Still working on it, trying to get it out.
Well, I got to tell you, it
I'm
looks to
gonna
me
publish
like
it.
you made the most of the situation. You definitely, you turned the negative into a big positive in your music, and you kept it going for so long, and and there's still plenty more to go where that came from.
Well, I can't quit because basically, I think, once it's in your blood, you can't.
Of course.
quit it. Can't quit it.
It's your passion.
So.
I'll tell you what. You want to do one more number before we wrap it?
Oh yeah. Well, I always like to say I like to approximate an organ.
Go ahead.
Go over here now. We'll say one of this, and I like to use a big chromatic once in a while.
Cool.
So
Little
if I wanted to
diversity.
play, George Gershwin's "Summertime" in a blue version, like
Sounds
George
awesome.
Smith would do,
awesome. Well, you did. You know, you did a great job. Listen, I hope we covered most of what you did tonight. I hope you had a good time.
Oh, much obliged.
Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're going to wrap the show up. You ready to do the rhythm thing too?
All right.
All right, folks. Thanks for watching. Top of Time, great guest. Another one next time. If I don't see you, and have a happy Thanksgiving. And then after that week, we'll
Tell them go to www.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Go to www.professorharp.com. You can get the itinerary. You can get my CD there, and the story is 99.999999% true.
Okay, you heard it from the
Professor.
Don Dante professor himself.
Yep.
Okay, folks. Have a happy Thanksgiving. See you next time on Topic Time. Have a good one. Here we go.
Oh, much obliged, man.
Thank you.
All right, nice and smooth.